What is going on, everyone? Welcome to episode 73 of the Foundation First Fitness Show with Bob Akon. Today, we are going to be talking about what you should be thinking about doing and what concepts you should be really starting mulling over in your head going into this new year. Now, the new year is usually where everyone starts diving into the gym. They start getting into that fitness lifestyle. They want to make some changes in their life. It's great. There's a bunch of things we want to think about, though, we want to keep in mind. And today I'm going to go over some of the tips. These are a little bit more harsh reality tips and things I want to tell you that are going to keep you away from being disappointed, and a little bit of some guidelines almost on how to go about being, to some extent, more successful than you have in previous years if this is something you are used to doing. So let's get right into it. Actually, before I jump into that, if you haven't checked out my episode on Functional Fridays, which is basically me helping you dissect some of your technique work that you've been struggling with, I would definitely check it out. I'm working on a new one. Hopefully either this Friday or the following Friday will be posted. The first one was awesome. I think it went off really, really well. I'm looking forward to getting a second one in and kind of continuing on with this. Now, today's topic is something that I think a lot of individuals really struggle with trying to understand, especially at the beginning. You know, when you go into it, there's so much information out there on what you should be doing. There's so many people that are going to be guiding you and telling you what you should be doing, which is why the detailed stuff that I'm going to be saying today is a little bit more from experience, seeing what's worked and what hasn't worked, and, you know, being able to really understand the industry from a much broader perspective, and looking at, you know, and letter C and C, really seeing a lot of what I see a lot of my clients coming into me and talking about. So enough said, let's get into it. The thing that I think everyone should be doing, and I don't usually talk about, I've started to get away from the average population talking and the general population and really trying to just the fitness trend stuff. I'm really starting to focus on athletes. But today I think I wanted to take a little bit of a little step outside of what I'm usually going to be talking about, and really go into what I think a lot of individuals should be paying attention to. So number one, I've said this before, I've said this on previous episodes, you know, when you go into, you know, training and you're trying to get fit, a lot of individuals are really trying to look for that lifestyle change, trying to be healthier, trying to lose some weight, trying to put on some muscle, and just overall be a lot healthier. Really, where I think a lot of individuals should start is number one, nutrition. It's really hard for me to say that as an owner of a training studio. It's really hard to be able to tell someone, hey, I don't think coming to see me is really going to make the biggest difference. The biggest difference you're going to see is what you are buying at the store. So if you're going to the supermarket and you're really not shopping for the right types of foods, and you're not taking in and consuming the right things for you, your ability to change your lifestyle it's staggeringly small. It's going to get really, really tough, simply because there's so much against you. The types of food we eat are going to be affecting the way we sleep. It's going to be affecting our digestive system, which is affecting the way our body feels and the way we start thinking. Our diet, and, you know, the types of food you eat is also going to be affecting your mood at that moment. You know, are you going to be, you know, full of energy, or is it going to be really just draining you down and making you feel really groggy and sleepy, and therefore unproductive in that day? And, you know, how the types of food you're eating, is it helping you recover properly? Is it providing your muscles with the right nutrients to be able to actually go into the gym, train, and benefit and take this elsewhere? So that's one of the things you really need to pay attention to, is really coming out of the gate, is going into the grocery store and really starting to make proper decisions. Now, what I think you should do about this is you can go one of two ways. Number one, go see a nutritionist. If you want one, reach out to me. I'll refer one to you. If you are in the Montreal area, I have one that I've sent a lot of clients to and have gotten great results. So you can definitely speak to her. She's done a lot of tremendous work with a lot of my clients, and no one's had any complaints. Everyone's always said great things about her. So that's one option, which is usually the first one I recommend, because it's easier to get guided, much more specifically guided advice, as opposed to almost umbrella advice that may or may not work for you. The trick is that a lot of people see let me just try to see if this will work. And by then you've already tried it, been unsuccessful. And then we'll sometimes chalk it up to maybe I just approached it a little wrong. Maybe I'll try just changing a couple of things up and it'll work. Which is why I say go get someone go get some advice from someone who's actually in the field and who's specializing in this and who has that kind of experience. And honestly, you're going to save yourself a ton of time, which is really the most important part of it. So if you're trying to lose weight, go see someone that has some experience in it. And I usually recommend someone with a background in nutrition. So, and not just like a certificate. I'm talking about someone who's actually done some concrete studying in it, university degree. Now, if you're going to go the other way and you're going to start making healthier decisions, here's what I usually tell everyone to do. Go with something like Whole Foods, okay? Not the store. I mean, you can go to the store, but you want to pick whole quality food. Things that if it didn't exist 500 to 1,000 years ago, you shouldn't be eating it. What I mean by that is look at the types of foods you're eating. Are you eating processed foods? Are you shopping in those middle aisles of the grocery store? Or are you really starting to go with all the healthier natural products that are all going to be on the outer sides? So, lots of fruits and vegetables, healthy grains, beans and nuts, things like that. Things that are going to provide you with a lot of energy and are actually going to help and benefit that digestive system, which is something we spoke about. That's also going to start changing up the way your body handles food. You're not going to be consuming ridiculous amounts because your body's going to be getting in the adequate amount of nutrition that it needs, therefore going to stop you from needing to go out and go search for more food and more food and more food. You're almost going to be stopping that right there. And then on top of that, hydrate. I don't know why I didn't bring a bottle. I mean, I normally have a bottle of water here, but hydration. Hydration is so key. Water is such a huge thing. It's so important. It literally plays a factor in everything that you're going to be doing. So, it's one of the things I changed over the last couple of years. I started drinking, ungodly amounts of water, a lot more water than I would ever have drank before. And I feel like it almost balances out my energy. I drink less coffee now that I drink a lot more water. So that's one big trade-off that I've noticed. And honestly, like it's a lot of it, and also comes down to proportions too. Are you eating enough of the right foods, and are you eating, the amount of food that you should be eating? So usually what I'll recommend is eat slower. Take your time, try to enjoy that process, slow down that process a little bit, and actually allow your body and your sensations and the stretch receptors in your stomach to catch up to what's going on. They're going to be able to pick up and tell you what you should be doing, what you shouldn't be doing. Don't wait till it's too late and it's like warning you, now it's time to stop, but it actually would have stopped a long time before because you were distracted the entire time. So get there, eat the right amounts of food, don't overdo it. So, but again, you wanting specifics, I can't help you with that simply because I don't know, how much do you weigh? How tall are you? How active are you? What types of foods do you normally eat? What types of foods don't you normally eat? So all these factors play into it. So that's why I'm saying, and that's why I'm suggesting, go see someone who specializes in this. They're going to be able to really get more detailed with it and actually give you a much more structured plan. So number one thing to focus on when you're going to the gym, nutrition. Take it seriously. I promise it is literally like the one major deciding factor on you being able to get towards your goals or not. It's impossible for you to outwork a bad diet, especially early on. Later on, the only thing you're going to notice is that yes, you're getting some result, but you're not getting close enough to it. And you're going to need to train twice as hard to get results that you could have gotten if you're working half as much and just eating well. So it's much, much easier to just eat well and then, add in some training. Number two, lack of friction. I think one of the things that individuals almost forget when they try to change up their lifestyle is they take these massive steps. They change up everything they're eating from start to finish, and they just snap their fingers, change everything. They start working out 7 days a week. It becomes this huge ordeal where their entire life, 3/4 of their life gets put on hold, and they start training. And all of a sudden, 2 weeks later, they're like, oh, I can't maintain this. I'm letting so many things slide, and then things just start dropping. So usually what I will tell people is try to go with something that's going to be lack of friction. So, this past Saturday night, I had a conversation with someone who was, a medical doctor, and he was telling me that he was starting to, change up the way he was eating and different things like that. And he said he fell into intermittent fasting. Intermittent fasting is essentially you set out a timeline, a window of during your day at which you don't eat. So there's like a 14 to 16 hour window in your day where you are not consuming food. You're consuming black coffee, water, but that's pretty much it. Nothing that's caloric, nothing that's going to cause your body nothing that's going to provide your body with energy. So doing that is really simple for him because there's a lack of friction. He spends his entire day working. He spends his entire day operating. He spends his entire day doing work. All of these things that are going to be coming in the way and are going to be playing a factor in when you're going to be able to eat, it's easier for him to just go and eat around those times and follow that nutrition plan, as opposed to try to punch holes in his day and try to squeeze and shift things around because he wants to eat 5 to 6 times a day. This became a lack of friction type of eating. And all he's seen is his energy levels went up, his weight went down, he's starting to get everything under control, and he feels a lot better. It literally became obvious. It became an obvious solution, which is why I tell people the easiest way to do something and maintain it is lack of friction. I'm not telling you that there's not going to be some changes. You're going to see some changes. You're going to be eating better, right? We're going to be eating healthier. So there's already going to be that. That's already a big change. How much are you eating? Well, you're going to be eating a lot less. Okay, are you going to be drinking as much coffee? Maybe not. You're going to be, drinking a little bit more water. Are you going to be having juice and soda? No, we're going to be drinking a little bit more water. So there are things that are going to shift. But what I don't want you to do is say, okay, every single day at 7 a.m., I have to eat this. Every single day at 9, I have to eat this. At 12, I have to eat this. And at this, I have to eat this. Then I have to go to the gym and train from 7 till 9. So I need 2 hours, and 7 till 9, I'll train. Then I have to come home. Then I have to do this. I have to do... By the end of it, the training has become such a huge part of your day that you have no time to adjust everything else because it's just shoved itself in there, taken up so much time, and the rest of your life hasn't adjusted. That's one of the hardest things when you make these drastic changes in your life and you introduce such a huge time consumption component. So what I tell people is from the get-go, start going with something that's a little bit more frictionless. That's going to be a big lifesaver for you. Finally, the third thing I'm going to tell you, the third point, thing that you should be really focusing on. The fitness industry in the last 10 to 15 years has unfortunately become a place where we tell people to do things and we guide people into doing things that they have no business doing at that moment. This is I'm not pointing fingers at any specific trend, type of training. This goes for everything: personal training, CrossFit, HIIT training, yoga, whatever, what have you. All these different fields are all to some extent trying to push the envelope and really go into things that their clients and individuals such as yourselves who might be listening to this shouldn't be doing. It's something that I noticed that I pulled out of my routines very early. I mean, almost 8 to 9 years ago. It's something that I've been fighting for a very long time. And I still make those corrections today. I still make adjustments in what I'm doing. So I'm not perfect about this, but there's a lot that I've changed in what I'm doing. And it's almost come to my detriment because I've noticed that a lot of people are not looking for it. And I know there's individuals that come and they trust the process and they understand it. And by the end of it, when they've come through on the other side, they've seen the benefits of it. So what I'm really talking about is when I say someone shouldn't be doing something is there's a lot of individuals that go into the gym, walk in, sign up for courses, sign up for different things, and they go through these exercises that their body is just not able to perform. And they modify the type, they modify their position, they modify their foot placement, they modify this angle, they try to adjust, they do slight compensations, and all that's doing is just compounding on that person's dysfunction. It's compounding on top of that person's inability to move well. And what I'm really trying to focus on is get individuals to move a lot better. Now, the concept that I like to throw people's way is, imagine this. And what I'm not telling you is that you don't know how to do it. It's that you forgot. How many of you have ever sat there and gone, well, I remember my grade 3, or my sec 3, sec 4, grade 10, 11, whatever, math. I remember doing it. Was it very hard? Was it the most impossible thing? No. Could I relearn it pretty quickly? Yeah. But why is it that when I look at the sheet of paper and I see the question, I just don't remember how to solve the problem? And that's simply because for the longest time, we haven't looked at it. We've forgotten the process. We've forgotten the chain of events that need to occur for me to be able to solve that problem. We forgot the details. We've forgotten the fundamentals of it. So when people look at something like a squat or a back squat, to be precise, where you put a barbell on your shoulders and you squat down and come right back out of it. A lot of individuals have almost said, oh, well, it's a squat. It's so basic. It's so fundamental. I'm not disagreeing with you. All I'm telling you is that we spend a lot of our day sitting down. Because we're sitting down our entire day, we forget how to be in a seated position, because our approach from standing to sitting is not a nice, proper back straight squat where we got weight on our shoulders. We flop into our seats. That lasts like 65 to 45 degrees is literally just us collapsing into the seat. When we get out of it, swing momentum, come right out of it. Rarely will you ever see someone, plant their feet, widen out the legs, get the knees nice and aligned with their toes, get the back nice and straight, strong TVA contraction, and rise out of the seat. No, they just kind of swing and get some momentum. They swing up and get out of that seat. Because of that, we start forgetting how to do a lot of these movements. We forget what it's like to be able to lie on the ground and, basically be able to control the turning and the rotations of our body, how to prevent that rotation when we're trying to move, how to maintain a nice, stable, neutral spine as we're moving. We forget a lot of these things because we stay seated. Our shoes are not helping us. There's so many things that are going on throughout our day that are taking us away from those natural habits. And what we end up doing is we go back into it and we just hand someone a Sec 4, 5, a grade 10, 11 questionnaire, and we say, here, this is math, solve it. And you go like, okay, and you kind of do it, and then we kind of make adjustments and we kind of like show you how to go around it. I'm not learning how to do this on my own. All I'm doing is messing it up. And then when it gets to the end, we just give a tick mark and say like, yeah, A for effort. You put in some work, you've shown your work, so you're gonna get part marks for this and you're good to go. Unfortunately, our body doesn't work on part marks. Our body figures out how to get through and do some of the work. But at the end of the day, if it's not done properly, our body's not benefiting from this. We're probably hurting ourselves more than anything. So what I'm telling people is, I'm not saying don't ever back squat. I'm not telling you don't ever front squat. I'm not telling you don't ever jump. I'm not telling you don't ever do push-ups or bench press or any of that. What I'm saying is go back to the last place where you remember. If you're still kind of iffy on grade 5 math, well, go back to grade 5 math. Bring yourself back to the basics, learn from the basics, and gradually work your way back up. It's not going to be a lengthy timeline. If you're someone that was moving pretty well for the longest time and then just took a 5-year, 6-year, 10-year hiatus, it's not going to be forever. It's going to be a lot quicker. These movements, your body, we all know muscle memory. Your body's going to have remembered how to do these things. You just got to re-instruct it and give it your body a refresher. How long does this take? It depends. It depends on how well your body was moving prior to that. It depends on what stage you're at. Are you in Sec 1 or grade 7 math, or are you in grade 3 or grade 9 Sec 3 math? So it really depends where you are. We got to stop handing someone some calculus and being like, oh, hey, you're good to go do it. It's like, no, they're not ready for that stuff. They need to be coached up to it. They need to learn. Their body needs to understand those movements. We're throwing complex exercises at people because we think that just because they're kind of showing part of the work that they're okay. That's not the case. That's the worst way of handling it. If you're doing this, you should definitely stop. I guarantee you that if you go back, relearn from the beginning and readjust and do all the things you're supposed to do the right way, on the back end of that, you're going to surpass where you would have been tenfold. It's so easy for me to see, when my clients have been doing their work, because I see their movement corrections. I see the things that they've been doing. I've seen the benefits. And I see how they're progressing, and I know that they've been doing the work, and they will tell you for themselves that they get to a point where they're like, oh yeah, I feel really comfortable handling any type of workout, because it becomes that easy for them. They go back, they do the refresher, and they're good to go. So if you have any questions on anything I've spoken about today, do not hesitate to reach out. I love having these discussions. This is essentially what I do all day. I really just have these discussions with my clients. If you are a client of mine, you've more than likely heard this talk before. But again, if you have any questions, reach out. I'd love to help you out with that. And until that next time, keep building that foundation. If you're watching this on YouTube, hit subscribe. Take care.